Hello, and thanks for tuning in to this episode of QUTV. I'm Charity Boyd.
And I'm Sarah Valkamp. Today on QUTV, what plans do you have for spring break? We'll hear what some students are looking forward to.
And just how safe is the QU campus and why? We'll have those stories and more later in the show. But first, the Quincy University community is mourning the loss of a beloved faculty member. Dr. John Schleppenbach, professor of communication, passed away Monday at the age of 71. Dr. John, as he was known to most, joined QU in 1972 as assistant professor of English. He and his wife, Dr. Barb Schleppenbach, were instrumental in developing and expanding QU's communication program. The funeral mass is this Saturday at 11 a.m. in the QU chapel. QUTV would like to extend our condolences to Dr. Barb and the entire Schleppenbach family.
Quincy University is known for its friendly atmosphere and safe learning environment. However, other colleges and universities aren't so lucky. I had the opportunity to talk to the Director of Safety and Security, Sam Lathrop, about what makes QU so different.
Colleges across the nation have been experiencing violent and sometimes fatal occurrences on campus, not only by members of the area, but also by other students themselves. The Huffington Post released an article in 2012 titled "The 11 Colleges with the Most Trouble" that displayed the universities with the highest crime rate. Fortunately, Quincy University does not compare with any of them. Director of Safety and Security, Sam Lathrop, explains why QU maintains a safe environment for its students.
For the most part, the community of students, staff, and faculty is relatively small. Because it's small, we tend to know one another and we look out for one another. One of the things that I've found in the time that I've been here at QU is a real sense of family, and that we truly do care and look out for one another in many different ways. And I think that's important when you consider the population of our campus is not as high a risk a population as you might find in other locations, so I think that helps.
Security systems around campus have also recently been updated for Francis Hall as well as dorm buildings. Vice President of Student Affairs Tiffany Nolan talks about how these improvements affect the safety of students.
Especially with the addition of the Francis Hall card system, we can really track what's going on, and we can lock down a building quickly if we need to with just a push of a button, which makes it much easier. For instance, if there were unfortunately some sort of a violent act on campus where we would need to what we refer to as shelter in place, it would be easy for us to lock everything down rather than run from door to lock it. We can sit at a computer, push a button, and all the doors get locked down.
Students can also take action by being aware of their surroundings and calling security for an escort if they begin to feel uneasy. Security encourages anyone on campus to call 228-5600 if you begin to feel unsafe.
One of the requirements for graduation is completing 30 service learning hours. The requirement has been reduced to 10 service learning hours for seniors graduating this May. All hours must be completed through the university, and you must complete the hours in order to graduate. To find out how many hours you have completed, you can visit your Moodle account and look under the Student Portal Service Learning tab. The following service learning opportunities are currently available. Visit Catholic Charities every Friday from 10 a.m. till noon to help unload goods, and from 1 p.m. till 3 p.m. to help clients shop. Stop by Quinata, located at 2707 Main, on Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to noon to help with clothing donations. Service Learning Saturday is also coming up on March 15th with the St. Patrick's Day Parade at North Adams. Please visit your QU email for updates on upcoming service learning events.
Last Thursday, the QU Winter Guard performed their show Attitude is Everything during halftime of the basketball games. The Winter Guard is an extension of the marching band program directed by Bill Mackold. After 4 years with the marching band, Coach Galen Conkright was thrilled when his students decided to create a new ensemble for basketball season. He says anyone interested for the next year should contact Bill Mackold or Amy Stolberg in the music department.
It's a lot of fun. They kind of become a small family. They support each other at Color Guard as well as within the school. And it's just been a great experience this year, and we're hoping it continues.
When you think about graduating college, the first thing that comes to mind is finding a job. But what if you want to be your own boss? Each year, QU students get the chance to hear from artists from across the country who are doing just that, succeeding in self-employment. QUTV's Randy Swope attended this year's Self-Employment in the Arts Conference in Lisle, Illinois, and has more on the story.
The SEA Conference, otherwise known as the Self-Employment of the Arts Conference, was held this past weekend near Naperville, Illinois on February 21st through the 22nd. The conference has been going on for 14 years thanks to Gary Ernst and all the hard work he has put into the conference. Gary created this event because he's seen the need for struggling art students that wanted to make a living on what they created. I got the privilege to sit down with Gary to see who can join this learning experience.
Conference is open to any undergraduate or graduate student, or even people from the community can come.
There were many schools that attended this conference, but there were only 5 students and 2 faculty members that attended this experience from QU. After people were checked in, students and faculty members were free to go their separate ways throughout the conference. The speakers that came to present have spent many years in their field, and they were eager to share the information to anyone that wanted to listen in on their conversation. The conference had 7 meaningful sessions. There were 6 to 10 presenters in every session. The sessions were about an hour long, and there was a short break in between them. Computer science, graphic design, music, videography, art, and fashion were just some of the topics that were covered in these sessions. After the sessions were completed, on Friday, dinner was served. There was an inspirational comedian that kept us entertained while we were eating dinner. After dinner is when the creative side came out of some people. There were fun and interactive events that happened during the night, such as drum circle, salsa dancing, improv, and drawing. After these events, people gathered in the lobby and listened to some music or went back to their rooms to retire for the night. Saturday, unfortunately, was the last 3 remaining sessions. Following this session was a closing session to wrap up the entire SEA conference. But before this event ceased, I sat down with Cameron Walker to see what he learned at the SEA conference.
I've learned that just because a dream of yours people say it's convoluted or delusional, like there are means to follow your dream, get at the place that you want to be in life, and you shouldn't let anybody's doubts or criticisms stop you from doing what you want in life.
For QUTV, I am Randy Swope.
It is not every day that people jump into a partially frozen lake while wearing goofy costumes, but last Saturday, that is exactly what 248 people from around Adams County gathered to do. The annual Polar Plunge is sponsored by the Illinois Law Enforcement Torch Run, which is the single largest year-round fundraising vehicle benefiting the Special Olympics of Chicago. Among the group were about 30 QU students who plunged into Mormon Lake. For students, it is a fun chance to dress in themed costumes, socialize with friends, and raise money for charity. Senior Danielle Dunn jumped for her 2nd time, and she was really excited to be supporting such a great cause.
Special Olympics is a great cause because it supports athletes in the area, so it's something that we can all see improvements from by supporting it through activities and events like this and through other ones throughout the year. I'm dressed as a ball of yarn because through my sorority Phi Sigma Sigma we picked the theme of cats, and I just thought I would be a fun accessory to that.
The event raised more than $50,000, and of that amount, Phi Sigma Sigma and other QU students raised over $2,000 for the Special Olympics.
Today marks the beginning of our spring break. We took the time to talk to some QU students about their plans for the upcoming week.
I will be doing job applications for spring break so that I can have a job after graduation, and also I will be going home and seeing the people that I met in the courthouse during my internship.
Over spring break, since I'm an RA, I'll be still on campus for a little while. And after being on campus for my duty time, I'm going to run back home, do some homework, and then after the homework, I'm going to start working on my part-time job at home at Denny's.
Right now, my spring break plans are undecided, but the last thing I have on the list is going home and making that money from Arby's.
Spring break, I'm going home. I'm enjoying time with family during the Easter season because I can't imagine it any other way. I must be home with my family.
I'm going to enjoy all of the beautiful works that God has created on this earth as I go about venturing back to St. Louis, where I'm originally from.
And now here's sports with Sports Director Andy Martinez. Andy?
Thanks, Charity. It might not feel like it outside, but it's that time of the year again as baseball is right around the corner, and for the KU baseball team, the season is already well underway. The Hawks made a trip down to Russellville, Arkansas for a 4-game weekend in which the Hawks took on Arkansas Tech and St. Cloud State. The Hawks dropped 2 to Arkansas Tech, losing 6-5 in Game 1 and 12-7 in Game 2 to the Wonder Boys. KU split with the Huskies of St. Cloud State, dropping the first game 3-2. The Hawks' bats came alive in the second game when they dropped the Huskies 12-1, including scoring 10 runs in the first 3 innings. Kenny May had a big day for KU, going 2 for 3 with a double and 4 RBI, and 2 walks for KU. Teddy Rule pitched 6 2/3 innings for the win for KU, who faced a weekend trip to Lebanon, Illinois to take on the non-conference foe, McKendree. Moving on to basketball, and it was a very tough weekend for KU basketball fans. The KU women, who felt a bit disrespected when they were not landed the top spot in the opening regional rankings, lost any argument rights when they dropped a pair of games at home to the University of Missouri St. Louis and Drury University. The women now go into GLVC Conference tournament out of first place and having to rely on a strong tournament run and possibly a few losses by other teams just to have a shot at hosting an NCAA regional. The KU men put their postseason hopes in huge jeopardy when they lost to Maryville 75-58 after defeating UMSL 78-76 2 days prior. The Hawks still get into the Great Lakes Valley Conference tournament with a win over Truman State this weekend, but a loss will put them into limbo over a possible conference tournament berth. The Hawks are a game ahead of the University of Illinois Springfield, but the Prairie Stars hold a tiebreaker over KU. A loss by KU and all UILs will need is a win over struggling McKendree, who will be without their leading scorer because of injury. The team now goes on the road to Truman State, who also have big implications on the game, as the Bulldogs still have a shot of finishing in the top 4 spots of the conference and a first-round bye in the Great Lakes Valley Conference tournament. So stay tuned. There's a lot to sort out for both the Hawks and the Lady Hawks heading into postseason play.
Thanks, Andy. Some of our staff here at KU have entered into the world of radio with a new podcast theme show called The Playlist. Every Friday, Joshua O.K. Hale and Ashley Cahill discuss the latest in pop culture as DJ Randy Wow brings different styles of music. They discuss the week's movie box office leaders, upcoming films, trending music, and the newest celebrity scandals. Students can comment on the show's Facebook page to join the conversation and request songs.
There's some good tunes on there. It's not the most breaking news, but it's interesting conversation topics, and we encourage involvement with our Facebook page.
As we mentioned earlier in the show, KU lost an extremely influential and great teacher this past Monday. Dr. John Schleppenbach dedicated his life to educating students with great energy and enthusiasm.
Though this is a sad time for the KU family, the outpouring of support from students and faculty alike reminds all what KU is really about. KU TV's Ashley Cahill talked to a few KU community members about Dr. John and what he meant to them. We leave you today with their thoughts. Have a safe spring break. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks.
The best memory I have was one of our choir concerts. He was probably there for all of them, but I just distinctly remember this one. He and Dr. Barb were sitting in the very front row, and we were singing, and he just had like the biggest smile on his face. He was enjoying it so much, and that was really, really cool, I think.
I was a student worker, and he always had like lots of stuff to tell me, and he'd always make fun of me because I have a twin. He would be like, "Oh, are you really Rebecca, or are you your sister?" It was pretty funny. And he would joke about it all the time. And I talked to him Sunday night through email, and he joked about it with me then too.
Last semester I had him for a class, and we had just turned in a paper for that class. It was the next class, and it was around Christmas time, and we were getting ready for Christmas break. And I'm working on this test, and he just randomly just slaps this rubber duck on my desk. And the rubber duck had like a Santa hat and reindeer antlers on. He just leans over and whispers to me, "You won the Duck Award for the best paper."
And so that rubber duck is still sitting in my room.
I probably learned that always strive to do your best. He always encouraged me to get into what I really want to do.
Dr. John has always been in my corner. He's always been my biggest advocate for succeeding in life. He's been, especially when I came to him halfway through a semester and told him I was changing my major and didn't even know where to go. He helped me out, set me on the right track, and now I'll be graduating on time with a communications degree and a minor. He's been an amazing person to me, an advisor and a mentor towards the Washington Internship Institute, and he's given me even more of a reason to go now because I knew that's what he wanted. That's what he wants out of all his students, to achieve their highest aspirations and to get there, and he's always been the best supporter of it.
He is the reason I came to QU. I accidentally applied to the wrong school. I thought I was applying to the Quincy in Massachusetts, but I'm here. He called me and he told me about the sports communication program, and I told him how I wanted to work for ESPN. Then he told me about Linda A. Moore and how, she was an alumni from here. And last Thursday, I had him in class, and I had a class from 2 to 3, and that's when Miss Linda Moore was here. So I told him I wouldn't be able to attend, although he knew I really wanted to meet her. So he went ahead, snuck out of class, and called my instructor and asked him if I could get out of class early so that I could meet her. And my teacher let me out early, and I was able to do an interview with Miss Linda and get her contact information, exchange, give her my resume as well. And he just really helped me put my foot in the door. I always felt like I could talk to him every day after class because I had him Monday through Thursday every day. So I'm really gonna miss him.
He was kind of a guardian angel looking over people and just seeing where their life is going to be taking them, whether or not they love to do their career. And he was concerned about that. He was like, do you love it? And he was concerned, and you could see he was very compassionate about that.
That he did leave a lasting impact on this university and the school. I'm an aviation major, and he's actually one of the people that brought that program to the school 12 years ago. If it wasn't for him, I might not even be here to begin with. But I just know he's had an everlasting love of dogs and internships. And I know you could tell the impact, his love of internships and dogs. If you actually go on to Google and search his name, that is the #1 result, is internship opportunities at Quincy University with Dr. John Sleppenbach.